Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, custom chaos? One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Booster juice, freshly made, your way.
Faces around Lake Tahoe are legendary. But this fall, new ones will emerge in the Tahoe Basin. Pullman, Mowat, Gushu, and more. November 4th through 9th, the Grand Slam of Curling's first ever event in the U.S. is coming to Lake Tahoe, where the greatest rock stars on earth unite for 6 days of incredible curling, celebrity appearances, and après curl parties you won't want to miss. Get your tickets at thegrandslamofcurling.com. Let's rock.
That's life. That's what all the people say.
A very pleasant good evening, curling fans. We started this weekend with 24 teams and we're down to just 2. It's the finals of the Saville Mixed Doubles Classic here on Curling Stadium. We have Cory Thiesse and Corey Dropkin of the U.S. versus Selena Gray Withers and Victor Pietrangelo. And that's going to be the finals here right now. I'm Dave Schmel, joined by Sean Joyce. Connor Simmons is our producer. And Sean, both these teams have just ran right through this field.
Yeah, 4-0 through round robin play. And of course, both of them winning their quarterfinal, semifinal matchups earlier today to get through to this final. It meant we had to draw to the button to determine who was going to have last rock here in the opening end of play. Gray and Pietrangelo won that. And I've had the good fortune to do the Thiesse Dropkin game the last 2 games, the quarterfinal and the semi, and it looks like Thiesse is right where she had left off because she's welded that freeze on at the back of the forefoot again.
Absolutely, and Sean, and that's such a vital piece of this discipline. And Cory Dropkin is going to come right on in and throw the top button shot to give it a nice friend there.
5 rocks in play now, so they can start removing things, and the situation in the house not good. So Pietrangelo going to look to move some rocks, and this is, you don't see this very often, but they're in a lot of trouble here. The setup's not good, and part of the reason you don't see it, again, some of the differences, and we'll talk about them as the game goes on, but in doubles, if you blank the end, you lose the hammer. And the danger with just blowing things up this early is that you might get essentially forced into a single when your only choice is single or the blank.
They run the high guard pass and end up leaving themselves a corner guard. Still, the Corey's sitting 2.
Probably just look to replace the guard here.
I'd like to thank all of you who have joined us here this evening on Curling Stadium. Please do us a favor and hit the thumbs up on the feed. That's greatly appreciated. If you haven't subscribed to Curling Zone, please do so, and they'll give you the opportunity to interact with us in the chat.
This is really going to have to curl a lot if he's going to cover any of that red stone.
It does come over, they get only a small sliver of it. I think they can still make a play, Sean.
Yeah, for sure they can. Now, I mean, when you drive the red onto the yellow, you're probably still only killing one yellow because the back one's going to go towards that back red pretty solidly, I think. But you'd love to even just pop it out into the open off the jam would help. The most important thing if you're playing this is stick the first one. Stick the red onto the yellow and keep your red in a good position.
So Korey Dropkin. It's not going to throw this stone because it's not his turn.
I was gonna bail you out. I said it didn't quite make the guard, left this opportunity.
Oh yeah. So Pietrangelo got to get past the guard. He does. Makes contact, rattles him around some. Is that good enough, Sean?
Well, the quiet weight saved him. It's not bad for sure because it's left 3 reds in the rings. Tough to ignore those, and there's a double available on the yellows. I was expecting a little more weight from them than that, but they threw it nice and quiet, and so when it overcurled, he didn't lose anything red, but he didn't necessarily get the best splash on those rocks he could have. It works.
So now this right here in front of us, preparing to deliver a Yellowstone, is Cory Dropkin.
Yeah, and because 3 reds stayed in the ring, I think he is hitting the one that just behind the broom and trying to roll into the middle, and that's the saver for Gray and Gray Withers and Pietrangelo, because that rock, all those rocks stayed. They can't really ignore them all, and if he makes this hit and roll, it's still going to be another rock behind the tee line.
Trying to hold the line really hard. They're going to catch it really thin, catch their own and kick it out. So
well, that's not very good at all. That left a triple. If he can he see enough of the inside of that rock? We won't know till he moves.
I
Like
think
third,
you can.
A third is probably all you need to hit. And it's gonna have to finish. He could see enough to stuff it and roll over there, but to get to get all 3 of them out, he's gonna have to hit a third of the first one. That might be tough. Mind you, if he hits the first one a little thick, comes to the front edge of the second one, he actually could spin up a little bit and at least be mostly in front of the tee line. That's not a bad.
That wouldn't be bad, no.
Yeah, no, that's not bad either. He'd still leave all 3 reds in a line, I think, behind cover. Sitting shot, it would be shot 3rd and 4th, and the Yellowstone would be wide open. I'd expect a little more weight this time.
And there is a little bit more weight. He's trying to make a big move here. Whoa, right away. That can't be good.
Yeah, he's got to get some movement after the guard.
Gonna hit it. It's gonna freeze right on top. He's on the button now. They lie shot 2-3 for the Koreys.
Yeah, tough to ever get the other 2 yellows out now.
So here's Thiesse. last of the first.
Has to move it a little bit to get shot, a little bit more to sit 2. 3 would be tough.
You see it taking the break now. It's going to be really tight to that high one. They just squeeze past it, get to the one on the lid, and push it back past theirs. And they lie 1-2.
Well, 1
I
for
think.
sure anyway, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure about 2.
I think it's pretty darn close. We're measuring like with a broom, which we're not supposed to do right now, but that's fine. I think it's yellow.
I don't know what they're playing. What they need to take a look at this, because I think you can get to enough of that red at the top of the 8 to drive it straight back, and that could be for 2.
Right.
They're trying a shot that's may not even be there to try to draw to the edge of the button to score 1. If you come to the back one, to the inside corner of it, maybe you might have enough button. But I think the straight tap back is for 2. I think the red is second shot.
Well, if that was the case, they certainly should be throwing that.
Well, I mean, pick whichever one you like, but I'm surprised they didn't look at it. This doesn't look easy either. Like, they've got to get to the inside corner of that yellow at the back of the house to be shot rock.
Now, this is certainly not easy for sure.
No,
Sean.
you can't see to the inside. It's edge to edge. You have to get to the inside corner. Nose will not be shot rock.
So facing at least a steal of 1, Serena Gray Withers, final stone of end number 1. Pietrangelo on the brush. They like the line. Got to get past the first one and the second one. Not going to do it. And it's a steal of 1 for sure. And let's see if we're kicking out other rocks. We are. So they know what it is, and we'll find out in a moment when we come back from Saville after this on Curling Stadium.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, custom chaos? One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Blister juice, freshly made your way.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Game West event.
Welcome back to the Saville Mixed Doubles Classic here from the Saville Community Sports Center, located on the southern campus of the University of Alberta. It was a steal of 1 for Cory Thiesse and Cory Dropkin. And they got that one just by a little bit dinking and dunking and making sure they're in a good spot. And unfortunately, their opponents weren't able to convert there in the end, Sean.
Yeah, well, a lot of it started last end when Cory Thiesse froze right on the stone at the back. This time, she's just that little bit offline. And Serena Gray Withers This time looks to be right down to the face of the yellow. Last time she left some room. So it's a different start to this end.
So now Corey Dropkin's going to come on down. Corey, the current skip of the U.S. men's national champion team reigning. His squad was known as the Young Bucks, although I think he's reached 30 now, so don't know how much longer he can say that.
He can always say it around me.
Well, that's
gaining,
true.
He's not gaining any ground there.
No, that's true. Well, honestly, you make me feel young, Sean. And Jim makes us all feel young. Nice draw by Dropkin there. And so now we see the cat and mouse game.
Yeah, this is a more traditional doubles end that everybody's trying to set up the angles. It's not enough to just freeze onto it. You got to set yourself up at an angle where there might be a chance to get the opposition stones out. So that one frozen on an angle so that the red goes onto the red at the back and leaves the other yellow. Victor will try to get something on the, as much as he's still playing this from the out turn because they've seen it and they know it, but he actually wants to cross the face of that yellow ever so slightly. That has been one of the nice things about this surface here at Saville this weekend, and with how aggressive these rocks are when they're playing these corner freezes. They could play it from either turn because you don't have trouble coming out the other side if you need to.
See, you're right there taking the break. This just doesn't have the weight, Sean.
No.
Serena tries to drag a little bit further, but it's there, full 12. So corner freeze coming back the other way now, eh?
Well, you got two choices. You can either try to leave the three rocks in a line, so you come around again on the out turn side, or as you said, come around from the in turn and have two ways to get at that red one eventually, and that becomes a problem for your opposition. It's the thing about it is that the first one's about 3/4 frozen, so it's hard to make the second angle from the other side. It looks like they're going to try to put three in a row. Just line up the yellow, yellow, red, and then anything you run back into it anywhere, the middle yellow doesn't go anywhere.
So the second from Dropkin is on the way. This one looks like it's got a lot of weight.
It'll be okay. I think it stopped just in time. I think. It's not a. They didn't get the perfect angle because now even if they do get a chance to play it, well, Victor's going to play it.
Yeah, they think they might be able to make him go.
If the two yellows might go, the red's going to go back onto the ones behind it, and I think it drags enough that it doesn't touch the yellow. But even if it stuffs onto the other red, it'll be sitting shot for now. The question is the top yellow. It's not a great angle. It's one if Dropkin was going to play it in the next shot, he'd have to throw it a little quieter to avoid popping the yellow out into the open.
So big weight coming here from Victor.
Yeah, he wants to do more than pop it out in the open.
Pass the card, bang it. It's going to move in sideways, but not too far. So we rearrange the deck chairs, and when the dust settles, it's 2 for Thiesse and Dropkin, and 3-4-5 for Gray Withers and Pietrangelo.
Similar to what we saw last end here. The rocks are in different position, but Thiesse and Dropkin sitting too. But do you dare ignore 3 red ones? Like, there is a double there. It's thin, and because it's thin, it probably jams on the one on the side. But it's certainly, it's not without risk to bring another one in, especially when you're bringing it into the 4-foot. If you ever leave a triple here, and that's probably what all the conversation about. Yes, they want to draw, but you got to be real careful where you put this.
They kind of like the line.
Right there is where it should start to move.
And there it goes.
I don't think you want this any deeper than that.
Well, there we are, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the double is still thin. It's not as thin as it was, and the problem is that because it went that far back, if you make contact with the second, all 3 of them are going to move. Now, it might still jam, but if you get 2 of them out, even if you lose one of your own, you could be back to shot 3rd and 4th with only 2 stones left to come. They're talking about just playing this as a hit and roll. I don't love that. You're going to be forced.
So they're looking there at just hitting and rolling on top of it.
You know what? If you're just going to try to hit and roll there, why not just draw there? Because if you draw there on the corner freeze on the center line side, now you can still come off the yellow on the last one into the red and kill everything. The hit and roll is a harder shot than the draw, and a hit and roll, just a hit and roll as opposed to the triple, it's not getting you much. You make it perfect, they freeze to the face of you, and I don't know whether you score.
So the last from Victor here in the second. Hard straight. It's really turning on him now. Only going to catch a sliver. Let themselves very exposed. And to your point, Sean, you would have probably been better off just drawing there.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's just too many factors when you're trying to play any kind of a shot like that. You've got to make the hit and the roll. A straight draw should always be easier than that. And if he queued it up on the inside corner of the yellow, he still was going to have the in off on that yellow available for the last one. As long as he's on the inside corner, the Koreys couldn't play it. Having said that, I still like the idea of moving the 3 yellows, but regardless, he's got what he's got. And now Cory Thiesse, it's similar again to the last end. She had a chance to tap back. You tap it back a little bit, you got shot. You tap it back a little bit more, you got 2. And I can keep going up the ladder until she could sit as many as 4 after this one if she tops it far enough.
So final stone in the end for Korey Thiesse. Squeezes past the guards, no problem, and pushes it back, and they're going to end up line 2 after that. Yeah, question, Sean, can you make all those yellows go?
Well, you could make 3 of them go probably, but there's a pretty good chance you're losing that one red with it at the same time. Mind you, there's a chance if you made it right, it would go over the top. If it goes over the top, that's for 2. It's still tough. I'd have to see the overhead again to see how much, or even maybe the hack view. I'm not sure how much of that yellow at the top corner of the button she can see by the guard.
Well,
maybe half. That's more than she'd need to hit, but
they are lining up just to draw.
Yeah, facing 2 here, 2 is a difference. It was only 1 last end.
And playing from this side, they really just had to get there on their own. Final stone in the second end. Serena Gray Withers.
That is way too many syllables for the final.
Well, hopefully she threw just the exact weight and line. It needs to curl over. Got to curl over to count. That is going to cut it down. It's going to be 1 yellow for Thiesse and Dropkin. They have a 2-stone lead. Red as a hammer when we come back from Saville after this.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting 10-fold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbach coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock.
Born there, so I'm Catholic.
And welcome back to the Saville Community Sports Center. We're having a lot of fun here in between ends, and we're hoping you're having fun watching us here. We've had fun bringing you this entire tournament. All weekend, it's the Saville Mixed Doubles Classic. We watched 24 great teams from across the world compete, and we're down to these 2. It's been Thiesse and Dropkin with a couple of paper cuts here in the beginning to have a 2-stone lead. And now it's time for Gray Withers and Pietrangelo to see what they can come up with here. I'm Dave Chabelle, and I'm joined by Sean Joyce. Connor Sims is our producer. We have Kaylee running the cameras, and our executive producer is Jerry Gertz.
The Coreys are having fun so far in this game. They've had a couple of steals, had a couple of chances to steal maybe more than one. And Cory Thiesse has dropped another one of those outstanding freezes at the back of the forefoot again.
I mean, it's just like push button, get freeze. I mean, that's really what it seems
That
like now.
the most she's missed by was the one last end where she didn't quite get up to the face of it. Now, even that was enough to open up some opportunities. But when you lock that first freeze on, it really closes off the scoring area. We saw in the first end, and here again, Serena Gray Withers comes up a little short on her attempt to follow the freeze down. First end, Cory Dropkin dropped another one around, and then already Pietrangelo had to start running guards because the setup was so bad, and that could be what we're looking at here, depending on what Korey can do with this one.
So here's Cory Dropkin. Currently makes his home in Duluth, Minnesota, originally from the area just outside of Boston, Massachusetts. This one's really tight to the guard, so tight that it's going to come into contact with it.
This time they're going to opt for the draw, it looks like. Try to get around, sit on the corner of that yellow stone at the back of the 4-foot. It's tough. You really have to make a decision in doubles. So it's not a 5 rock free guard zone. It's 5 rock free everything. You can't even kill your own. So this is the first shot that he would be able to throw any kind of a takeout. And I was talking about this earlier, I think in the semifinal, you draw the parallels to 4-player curling. Well, this is only the 6th rock at the end. We've got lots of time yet. Well, you don't in doubles because it gets late early when you've only got 6 rocks. So you really have to make a decision. And the decision they made here is we're going to try to set something up with the draws. If you were going to run it back, you have to do it pretty early so that you still got time to build something. Boy, that's a good draw. That's a great draw.
It is shot stone, and the angles are very much in their favor now. So how do the Coreys counter this, Sean?
Well, Cory Dropkin likes making the runbacks himself. He's looking at it here. I'm not sure I'm in love with the call. The question is if he makes the run. So if we look at the hack view, so from behind Korey, he's thinking to hit it just slightly on the left-hand side, clip the yellow in the 8-foot on the right-hand side, which would drag that red, and then you probably kill the red, the top 8-foot, and the side of the button. Where's the telestrator I was promised? But if I'm not 100% sure because there's some room between that yellow and red. It may not drag, and if it doesn't drag, it goes to the back, and it could stuff on that yellow. That probably rolls some at least.
Did he at least use the dry erase in your laptop this time? So here's Cory Dropkin. He's going to come out with some weight here.
Can definitely get rid of one red here and hoping it drags enough to get 2.
On the top one.
Side.
Oh, just wicks it as it goes by and probably made the angle even better for Gray Withers and Pietrangelo.
Yeah.
You like that? Just coming right down on top again?
I don't hate it. It's one of those ones, and you see this a lot in doubles play. You kind of like to get 3 in a row because then when you have to play something, you know the middle one's not going anywhere. There's, as much as we see plenty of angle play in 4-player curling these days, it's all about the angles in doubles. You get this corner frozen again, and that one on the button is probably never leaving.
Waiting for this to curl.
It should go there if the weight's okay. This looks like it might be a bit strong.
It is just a skosh heavy. And the angles are everything, Sean. Explain how that changed the angles.
Well, I mean, they didn't get the red, yellow lineup that they were looking for. Now, I still don't think Dropkin can just blast those out. Like, he can hit the one that was just thrown into the side of the other one. The two reds will go, but I think it's taking the yellow with it. The other thing you could do, though, if you're Corey Dropkin, just hit the one that was just thrown and roll in front of the red. And then how does it ever turn into more than a single would be my question.
Yeah, that's what Corey just indicated.
Yeah, just depends what angle you get. Because there's still the yellow-red that can be run back. So it really depends on the angle that you end up with the yellow-red.
All right, so the little pop and flop is going to be the call.
Yeah. This won't be big weight either.
Ooh, changing up the call now.
Well, this might be able to make 3 reds go. So the one that was just thrown will be the only one that stays. Not too sure that some yellows don't go flying, though, too.
So another high heater from Dropkin. Right through there. Lots of granite moving. And when the dust settles, it's shot stone.
The yellow does stay for shot. The 2 yellows at the top, though, how much is that going to drag? Take one more look at this. I think they were hoping that the red at the very back would have gone all the way out, but it hangs around in the back of the 12. Lots of room between those first two. I don't think it drags enough to clip that one out of the back of the button, or back of the forefoot, pardon me. You make the play directly onto shot rock. There's going to be a double off the red that's open. It would be tempting here to just play the double on the top 2 yellows. Second, third, and fourth. Because if you play the double hitting them on the a little bit on the high side, it should clear the back one.
So then that would force Thiesse and Dropkin to hit and lie to that in such a way that's not doubleable.
Yeah, which isn't going to be easy. If you hit this 3/4 of a rock on you get different views. So on the left, as we look from behind Victor, just 3/4 on that side, make the double, roll over and cover a bit of your own, or even edge to edge with your own. The question becomes, where do you put the next rock? They can make a play directly onto shot rock, but I don't see how you don't leave a double. Because that redstone is wide open, and it's going to be a half rock double across to wherever you roll. You roll too far, they won't even have to play it. Oh, with that amount of ice, maybe he's throwing this quiet, trying to get across the face a little bit, roll underneath the yellows. That would at least make the double really thin.
Yeah, I think that is the call, Sean. On the way from Victor now. Off and on. Now on the curl. They get a little across the face, but the double is still certainly there, Sean.
Yeah. Well, and worst case scenario, if they make the double, look at where the yellow shooter is going to be. It's going to have the pinhole covered.
Yep.
Behind 2, and you can't even just run them because the yellow sat for 4th at the back. You make this double, it's almost guaranteed steal. Again. Now it's still a double, and it still has to be made. And one of the things that make these shots a little trickier in doubles, here you see Korey, both the Koreys, the thrower and the brusher, making their way down to the other end. There's nobody in the house to call line. It is not quite the same calling line from the thrower's end that it is from in the house.
So the final from Thiesse. Dropkin gets it. They make that, and they are dead on the bin.
The angle's not great for them, though. We'll take a look at this as she makes the double, and look where it comes to rest. Makes the hit, comes across. There might be a quad there. The top two line up to go across the face of the one on the button a little bit, which should bring it back towards the back one. Now you got to throw some weight here to make this.
Doesn't the one that's on the button end up jamming on the back red?
Well, the two yellows look like it goes over the top of it enough to chip it back towards the yellow, I think.
Right. Then after it hits the yellow, I think it jams on the red, but that's...
Well, it might. It depends how thick you hit that one. It might go over the top. I don't know what else you've got. Like, I don't think there's an out-turn draw because of where the corner guard is.
No, you're quite possibly right. They're going to take another look at it.
If she's going to play the out-turn and make that port, I think you got to throw...
like back
probably
eight
at least, yeah, back eight, back line to hold the line. There is some question about how much this is going to drag, because in order to make the one in the top 12-foot go, you've got to hit this probably a little bit on the high side. I can't imagine she can hit that right on the nose and make it go. I don't think you got anything else, though. Like, even back line, I'm not sure by the time you're by the corner guard that you get by the one in the top 12.
So Serena Gray Withers,
she hasn't had anything easy yet to throw with her last one.
facing four, needs to throw a quad to score.
If it's there. And I mean, it might be, but it really depends on how the first two drag. She's just drawing to cut them down.
Yep, draw to cut down. Maybe see if he can't get lucky to pick it out a little bit. Final stone of the third end. Get any piece of the 4 foot, it's only one. It's there, no problem. It's just going to chap it off. It'll be another steal for Thiesse and Dropkin. They have a 3-stone lead after 3. We'll be back from Saville after this.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, Custom Chaos? One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Booster juice, freshly made your way.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting 10-fold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
That's life. That's what all the people say.
Yeah. And welcome back. And there you go. You see that death by paper cuts 1-1-1 makes 3. And Thiesse and Dropkin have the lead here in the fourth end of the finals of the Saville Mixed Doubles Classic here on Curling Stadium. And now we're going to see if Cory Thiesse can throw another one of these locked on draws like she's done all weekend long.
Well, she might actually be short here once. I was starting to think, if I was playing against her, I might want to check those rocks for magnets, but she doesn't get that one that tight together. So,
well, magnets are very fun and cool.
Yeah, well, she seemed to keep locking them on the front. This has left some room. And because she was a little short on that one, this is one where they don't have to be right down to the back one this time. They could actually just nibble the top 4 foot. That first one gets right down to the face of the one at the back, and you kind of have to follow it down to make sure you got a chance to score. But now that you've got some room, goes back to traditional 4-player curling even, you've got last rock here. You don't want to get closed down to the button is the only place to score. You'd like to leave a bigger scoring area if you could.
Well, there's another one light.
Yeah. She gets away with that one, though, because there's room right now. That's
Right.
a usable stone. Probably would have liked to not rub the yellow, and I think it did just touch it on the way by, so it's wide open. Can't be hit yet. Does mean Korey will likely be trying to get this right to the face of the red at the back again. You leave it any higher than that red angle run up onto it will be makeable for sure.
So here's Dropkin trying to make that draw. On the out turn. Here I'm calling top 8, so he knows he can finish it.
And about a foot inside the hog line is where they really start to move if the weight's right, and there it goes.
Would like that just a little bit deeper, eh?
Maybe. I left a little bit of gap there. You can either follow it or you can play the red up onto it. The red up onto it looks like it's got better angle and a chance, easier to move it. You don't have to get it out now, but I mean, at some point in time, you're going to have to move it just to have a chance to get shot rock.
So do you move it now or do you keep on jostling for a position?
Well, I like moving it while you got a chance. It's hard to get a good angle coming from the out turn as well. Just because the yellow-red in the house is already kind of angled to go out from the in-turn side. Not much, but there's a little bit of angle.
You see both Corey's taking a seat here. This is the third game for each of these teams today. And doubles is certainly a pretty physical discipline. So Victor sends this one on its way.
Has to stay a little bit high.
Just a hair high, and it will clear it out. Perfectly executed. They lie too.
That's a great shot. Couldn't have walked it down any better. I wasn't sure that he could. In fact, I would have bet against that he could get it almost cleanly by the red at the back of the 4-foot as well. I think it touched it, but didn't move it very much. We'll see here. Yeah, just touched it.
Did it leave a triple back shot?
What it did, it's not a gimme though.
Are there any triples that are gimmies?
Well, there are. there honestly are. But this is one where, so you got to drive the first one almost straight back, which is close to jamming the second one. And if you hit the first one a little high, it'll jam the first one. So there's two possible jams here where it leaves a red in the 4-foot. He won't be light.
So here's Dropkin. Hops up to sweep it right away, trying to hold it. You get one, bang, bang, two are gone. And it improves the landscape substantially. So where do we go next?
Well, I think you're playing the out turn draw. The key here is just don't leave a double. And this is the friendliest looking end they've had so far. It right now is looking like they should have a shot for two. Well, that must have grabbed. Look at the spin on that.
That picked, and that's going to be a lost rock. That's very unfortunate. Man, you said the friendliest looking end. They were looking for the welcome wagon, and all they got there was a bill from the HOA.
Yeah, I didn't see it there. It might have happened right out of his hand because it was spinning hard as soon as you let it go.
So now free shot for the Coreys. Just kill the red, eh?
Yeah, I mean, you still got to be a little careful with it. You hit this thin and it's going onto that yellow at the back. It's hard to hold your shooter anyway. It's got to think they're going to throw this fairly quiet, and then the jam is really thin, about an eighth. Hit half, you're good.
We're off and on the sweep call. Probably pretty darn close. Trying to walk it over just a little bit. Got contact, no problem. And you roll well open. You lie 4, spread everywhere. All you have to do now is to try to bury one the best you can.
Yeah. Yeah, and well, if you're going to play from the out turn, you got to bury it pretty solidly too. This is where it would be tempting to throw one from the in turn side, because if you left a quarter on the in turn side, top 8, they can't really go after it. There's a chance it jams.
But coming from the out turn. Haven't laid a stroke to it yet.
Ton of room, ton of rotation.
Ton of weight. It's shot, but likely temporary.
Well, the good news is,
please do.
That they're going to have a shot to score, because last end they didn't, and a couple of ends already, it's been very difficult to have a shot to score.
I knew there was a pony in there someplace.
This is one where actually you don't want to stay right there. You'd like to roll over, nudge your own maybe, because then at least you put a choice into their mind. Are they going to play the straight draw, or do they try to hit this rock back at 8 foot? The problem with that, at front 8 foot, a lot of teams would just play the hit, but at the back 8 foot, you don't have much room to roll. And that draw to the button is such a common shot in this game. Usually you feel pretty good about your chances of making it, but it's still a draw against 5.
Mm-hmm. All right, so all the particulars have been discussed.
Yeah,
Thiesse.
That last bit was just the weight, I think. She may not be able to see very much of that stone, maybe only a quarter.
Calling hard now, clean. Got to pass the second one. Yes, you just do. And there you go. And now they lie 5. Now, made it a little bit of an adventure there, Sean.
Yeah, certainly. Didn't need to play that tight to the one in the 12 foot, but by doing that, she's got a little sliver of the 4 foot, which cuts down the scoring area here. Now you still, I think likely all of the players in this event feel pretty good about this draw. You throw this so many times in a game in the doubles format, and as long as there's no corner guard out there blocking your path, I think most of the players feel pretty good about their chances of making this.
So Serena with the final stone on the 4th end, facing 5. Victor on the brush, just keeping it clean. Has all the line, just needs a wait.
Started moving earlier than I would have liked.
Got to go hard. This might not have the weight.
That's why.
Oh, no, it doesn't. And that is a steal of 4. And it'll be a 7-0 lead for Thiesse and Dropkin. We'll be back from Edmonton after this.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
Welcome to therockshop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
off your
Yeah.
Pietrangelo.
And welcome back. It is time for the power play. And Grey Withers and Pietrangelo certainly need some power now, Sean.
Yeah, they might be of the opinion that if they're going to get back in this game, they're only going to get one more hammer and then they're going to have to steal. So they're trying to use the power play to generate some offense here in the fifth. And that will not help them.
Yep, you
Korey,
see that.
Thiesse just not prepared to miss anything.
Yep, she made the push shot. No problem. So here's Grey Withers.
Just looking to replace the guard here with one of her own.
It'll still be protected.
Well, and because it's a redstone now, Thiesse and Dropkin not going to play that same tick shot. You're not going to try to put your opposition stone into the rings. So they'll chase behind the corner. Or sit open and just sit two. That's what they're talking about now.
Well, they have a bit of breathing room now with a 7-rock lead.
Sean Joyce and Captain Understatement, happy to bring this game to you. A little bit of breathing room. 7-point lead in a game where you've only got 6 rocks. Yeah, I would call that a little bit of breathing room.
Sometimes I have to go Captain Obvious, Sean. What can I say? Anything to make you look smarter, buddy.
Well, that takes a lot of work some days.
It's a full-time job for me, buddy. Even more so for the lovely Maureen. They are just going to play open here. So they lie too now. 5 rocks have been played, so free game on everything.
Yeah. And I think this is the right call here. You got to keep the play away from that corner for now. As tempting as it would be to try to lob another one around there, then they just peel the guard and you'd leave a double over there, which 2 doesn't really do you a great deal of good. You need to try to find a way to get 3. Well, the way I see to do it, you freeze this one. Maybe they leave it in play when they try to blast it out. Then you maybe come around the Yellowstone, like that redstone that's buried over there in the corner. You just want it to stay there all end, and then you're hoping you've got some kind of a hit with your last one and another biter somewhere. So you need to create something that they can jam or get a bit of a half shot on.
They get close, but very gettable.
Yeah, it is. But if he's off the nose a little bit when his shooter rolls over, you can actually, they might be able to leave him something that he could freeze to and still be protected by that stone in the 8-foot a little bit. So for Dropkin, he'd love to hit this right on the nose, make the red go away, but it's easier to be ever so slightly on the broom side, and that, that could roll over to where there's a freeze that's got some protection. I'm clutching at straws a little bit here too, but for Grey Withers and Pietrangelo, that's what you got to look at right now. You're not going to get a complete miss, so you've got to look for something where a half shot, a 3/4 shot, something that's going to leave you an angle.
And away they go.
Now I think you're coming around the yellow. They're going to come around the corner.
So if you came around the yellow, just for argument's sake, how deep would you come?
Well, it doesn't matter. Back 12 is fine. Just get around it. And then Korey doesn't have anything he can come at directly. The problem with coming behind the corner like this is that Korey Dropkin might try the run back on the guard. If he gets it, they all go. If he just peels the guard, there's going to be a pretty makeable double there for Cory Thiesse on her last one. And you need 3 here. So leaving the double's not great. He got good line on that. The double would be tough, but there's room between them.
So they're going to take it on the long run here.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not really any risk here. You're either making contact with the ones in the rings or you're opening it up. And then you've got a double for the last one, and it's no more than 2 points against you.
So Dropkin winds and fires.
Straight peel.
Just going to be a peel. Nothing wrong with that.
You might have to guard that. And then Cory Thiesse throws a draw, and you're hoping there's a double. I don't think you can leave the double, so this is probably the right call.
So replacing the guard. It's going to have plenty of curl.
Yeah, so now Cory Thiesse will draw, try to sit 2 and not leave a double.
Little extra housekeeping.
Yeah, we did see one pick already, so.
Cory Thiesse. Dropkin on the brush. They like the line. Just trying to not leave a double. You just want to lie 2. Do you lie 2? I don't think so, Sean.
Nope. But you might be 3rd, which means the hit on the other side is only good for 2.
That is so important between those 2 stones.
Well, yeah, I don't know if it matters because the double is clipping one of those reds anyway. So I think all you've got is the shot for 2.
You play it and then measure it if you have to.
Yeah.
Well, from this angle, that looks red-like, but
yeah, that's what I think too. This might be a hit for 3.
There's another good look at it. Certainly looks like red from there. So we said they need to get 3 with their power play. A chance to do so. Final stone of the 5th end.
Has to get to the nose. There's not a lot of room to roll to the outside.
Trying to get the curl. They're going to get enough curl to hang on. So there they are. It's 2 and a measure. Cory Dropkin has the stick ready. All right, so here we go. All right, like 2.5. And way more than that. So
Yeah,
it is a score of 3. Oh, they're going around again.
Cory would like to see it again. I have to think Victor would say, no, I'm good. That was 2 or 3. Well,
they didn't even take a fresh cut at it. Yep, 3 it is. So they cut the deficit, and we'll come back in just a moment. You're watching Curling Stadium on SSN.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, Custom Chaos? One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Booster juice, freshly made your way.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Thiesse. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
our play is tough, but you can do it.
Oh, welcome back. It's a 6th end to play. Serena Gray Withers and Victor Pietrangelo scored a 3 spot in the 5th. Thiesse and Dropkin with the hammer here in the 6th. Ishmael, he's Sean. There is always something positive, Joyce.
Oh yeah, the math is still, I mean, in doubles, the math is still there, right, to work it out. That 3rd point was huge. You're still going to need to steal a deuce somewhere along the way, but that happens a lot more in doubles play than it does in 4-player. And as we get back from the break here, I'm shocked to see that we're not using the power play right away. I thought we'd see it here because for Thiesse and Dropkin, you score 1 point here. And you're back to a 5-point lead with 2 ends to go. Gray Withers and Pietrangelo have to be thinking steal all the way now, and you've let them have the center guard end.
Well,
they dealt with the center guard pretty early. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the differences. Another one of the differences between the 4-player. There is no tick zone in doubles. The power play is going to be the tough end to steal. They'll have to throw center guard. You can't give up any more points now if you're Grey Withers and Pietrangelo. So you got to be thinking steal all the way. But you've got a center guard and a rock behind the button in the other two ends, and one of those ends you're going to have to steal too.
So basically, as soon as you feel like you have any semblance of an opportunity, you have to go hard for that multiple steal just then.
It probably means, it's going to change a call somewhere along the line where you might have to play something a little bit more aggressively than you otherwise would to have that chance to steal too. There are 5 rocks in play now. Korey can start making red ones go away. He looked at both of them, but with that broom, I think he's trying to run it to the one in the house. No, now he takes a little more. Like it's thin to double peel the red guards, and when you do, it still might come back there and clip that one out of the top of the forefoot.
So the first from Dropkin.
Got one.
Gonna get two. Get all 3 of them moving. They do end up moving their own, but there's a lot more real estate to work with now, Sean.
There is. There was always that chance if you could clip that just right, you could, that probably the unluckiest he could have gotten to make contact with that, and that he left both reds in the rings. And as it is right now, so if it came down to last rock right now, Cory Thiesse couldn't just hit the red at the top of the 8-foot. She wouldn't be shot rock. For now, you're going to try to guard that stone. I can't imagine, with the score being what it is, that Thiesse would draw against 2.
Well, Cory Dropkin's
he's going to try to get 2 of them to go away. Yeah,
absolutely. Try to make sure that's never an issue. Grabs his favorite yellow rock out of the pile. Kicks and fires. Hold on. Yeah, get the one in the back. Now you stuff it there too.
You have to guard one more time. You guard one more time. Korey will take one more run at trying to get 2 of them. But if he's not successful, if he doesn't make the double, it could make for a decision on their last one.
This guard's going to be very high.
Are they thinking about just hitting the open one now?
And
yep.
Nope. Yes. Okay.
I think so with that broom. It'd be, if he was hitting the guard, he'd be hitting it from the other side to try to clip that one.
Right. So Dropkin on the intern hit. First one we've seen come this way. They make it no problem.
Well, you make the hit and roll the back button, you've got a chance to steal.
Certainly do.
I hate that idea. I'm not sure why you would think to roll behind the corner. She's going to draw anyway. Why give her more real estate? She can actually get this into a really good steal position. You make the hit, you look at where it is, it's going to, so the back of your rock, when you make contact, is going to be about 2 inches in front of the tee line. As you roll across, you still should be mostly splitting the tee line half the button. It's going to be take a very precise draw to score. I think they're playing the roll the other way. I don't like this call.
So here it comes from Gray Withers. They are indeed trying to hide underneath that yellow guard. Well, they make the shot they called. It'll be a draw against 2.
Yeah,
just needing a piece of the 4-foot.
Yeah. The only nice part about that roll is that now it's either a steal of 2 or it's probably handshakes.
So TC making sure that the stone is immaculately clean.
This would be the exact same spot that Serena Gray Withers came up short 2 ends ago.
Facing 2, final stone of the 6th end. To potentially seal it, she needs a piece of the 4-foot. Cory Dropkin on the brush. Just kind of keeping it clean, just a little direction here and there. That's going to settle in right on the lid. And that's a single point and handshakes. And that means Cory Thiesse and Cory Dropkin are the winners of the Saville Mixed Doubles Classic. Congratulations to them, and very hearty congratulations to the runners-up, Serena Gray Withers and Victor Pietrangelo. And Sean, I mean, it was the Coreys have just run amok this weekend.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to see them at all through their round robin play, but I saw all 3 of their games today, and they were very strong right from the opening draw this morning, the quarterfinal. Cory Thiesse in particular, the closest she got, I think, to missing her first stone of an end was once when she was 3 inches off being dead lined up. But even at that one, she was right on the face of the stone. It's just so important in this format to get your ends set up well, and she did it all day today, and obviously all weekend as they run the table, 7 straight wins.
We'd like to thank all of you for staying with us all weekend long here on Curling Stadium. Be sure to check out our channel on YouTube. You have all the different replays from this and many other different spiels. We have playlists for your favorite teams, and we'll be with you all season long. So for now, from the Saville Community Sports Center, for Sean Joyce, Connor Sims, our producer, Kaylee with the cameras, and our executive producer, Jerry Gertz, I'm Dave Schmel. Thank you so much for watching. Good day.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, Custom Chaos.
One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Blister juice, freshly made your way.